the first thing you guys really need to know is that my due date was November 5th, and she was born on October 4th. So she was a month early, and she was only 4 pounds 15 ounces, and she was so tiny. The doctors made me like feed her out of a syringe. They wouldn't even give me a bottle to feed her out of. It was crazy to me. But so since she was born a month early, we literally had just had my baby shower on the 1st of October, and then my water broke the 2nd, and I didn't know my water broke. I didn't know that I had even lost my mucus plug. I had no idea. And then like I had this really sharp pain, and then I had some fluid, but it wasn't like what I expected. I was in no pain, and it wasn't a lot. It was just like a little dribble, and when you're pregnant that kind of happens anyway, so it wasn't anything weird to me. And I didn't say anything until the next day, so I went to the hospital on the 3rd. My water broke on the 2nd. She was born on the 4th. And we got there, they tested me, and the nurse was like, well, you were wrong, you're not going home, you're having a baby either today or tomorrow. And I'm like, that's a month early. I was so scared. And when I was a little kid, I got an IV, and it hurt really, really bad. So throughout my whole pregnancy, I've been like terrified that IVs hurt really bad. And a bunch of people have told me that an IV feels the same as getting your blood drawn. Getting your blood drawn hurts worse than getting an IV. Oh, it just feels like a bee sting, and just a lot of different stuff. So I had no idea what to believe or what to think. And I was kind of scared, but they were like, you really don't have a choice. If you want to have your baby in this hospital, then you need an IV. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I just kind of like held my arm out and closed my eyes, looked the other way, and it really it didn't hurt at all. The IV, getting my blood drawn, really did hurt worse than getting an IV put in. I had an epidural. It didn't work. Like, when you get your epidural, your legs are supposed to go numb. You're not supposed to be able to walk. You're not supposed to be able to get up. You're supposed to like just barely be able to move your legs. Well, I'd never got numb. I never even got a tingly feeling at all. And the nurse was like, oh, we can give you a second one. So they did the second epidural. It didn't work either. Like, this much of my hip, like this far down, was like tingly. It wasn't actually numb. It just was like tingly. I'm like, hey, I think it's working, but it's only on this leg. And she's like, oh, okay, well, roll over on your side. And as soon as I rolled over, the tingliness just went away, and the epidural didn't work either. And the tingly just went away. I like never went numb. My hips never went numb. I had back labor, so I had really bad back pains. Like, I've heard a bunch of people say that back labor is worse than like regular. You feel it all in your back, and it hurts so fucking bad. So bad. And what the hell? I'm here by myself, but like a shadow just walked across the wall. Anyway, that's creepy. And since I was losing fluid, they had to put a catheter in. If anybody has ever had a catheter, you know that even with some numbing, that shit hurts. Okay, well, I had no numbing at all. They were checking my cervix, they put a catheter in, all of this. No numbing at all. It hurt so fucking bad. Oh, and before this, I was in the hospital, and I still wasn't having any pain. They had to give me Pitocin to where it would like intensify my contractions, or else I wouldn't feel them. And once they gave me that, oh my god, it was like the most painful thing I've ever felt. So that happened all night and then half the next day, because she was born at 2 o'clock the next day. I'm trying to think. There really wasn't that much going on that I can remember, because after I got my Pitocin, I basically was just sleeping the whole time or watching TV, trying to distract myself. I was listening to Disturbed and Machine Gun Kelly while I was in labor. Like, I've put my phone music like as loud as it could go, and I had it laying next to my head, and like I didn't care if the nurses didn't like it or not. I'm the one who was freaking having a baby. So yeah, like my room was loud because first of all, I had a bunch of people in there talking. Like, a bunch of my family was in and out of the room the whole time, and then I was listening to Disturbed and Machine Gun Kelly while I was in labor, trying to like distract myself, calm myself down. And then so the next day, when she finally came, like I was literally grabbing the collar of my mom's shirt and like pulling it like pulling it down and over and like just ripping my mom's shirt. Like, it was crazy. And holding Jacob's hand and ripping my mom's shirt, and like, I didn't have any epidural, I didn't have any numbing stuff, and my anxiety was getting to me really, really bad. Tired, so like, in between contractions, I was like a zombie. I would literally like come up out of nowhere during a contraction and then just flat fall back when the contraction is over. And I did that the whole time until she was out. So I can't go into detail because I don't remember any of it. My friend came to visit me and brought her baby, and they were there a long time. I only remember them being there for like 10 seconds. All I remember from the visit is when she put her baby up on the bed next to me and was like, say bye. All I remember is him like touching my face and saying bye. That's all I remember. I don't remember anything. I was like literally passing out. Every time I wasn't having a contraction, I would literally pass out. So I can't really go into detail about it. This is gonna be a meet my baby video too, so even though she's right here sleeping, I'm still gonna like pick her up and show her to you guys, like, here she is, what she looks like. I'm probably leaving out a bunch of stuff, but I just don't remember any of it. I remember my mom screaming in my boyfriend's face. I remember my boyfriend crying and laughing at the same time. He was doing this shit. He was like, but he had tears running down his face. Yeah. During the actual birth, I had my mom, my boyfriend, and my stepmom in the room with me because you're only allowed to have 2 people. But they made an exception for me so I could have my stepmom in there. So that was like, that was really cool that they would do that because like, I don't know. When she was born, the string from the catheter was wrapped around her throat, but it didn't cause any damage. The doctor just like cut it off as soon as she pulled her out. No, I didn't have a family member cut my umbilical cord. I was gonna have my mom do it, but the doctor didn't even ask if somebody else wanted to. She just like immediately clamped it and did it herself. Negative experiences that I had while I was at the hospital. One, there was this really old nurse. She was like the nighttime nurse. Well, maybe she was daytime. I don't even remember what time it was, but she like forcefully shoved, swear to God, pretty much her whole hand inside of me when she was checking my cervix. I mean, it obviously wasn't literally her whole hand, but that's how it felt. Like, she just was not gentle at all. At all. She had such a bad attitude, and my back was hurting really, really bad. So I wanted to be sitting up. Like, laying down made it hurt worse. And, you know, hospital beds, like, you can move them with a button. And I told her I did not want to lay down. And she kept pushing the button to make the bed lay down. And I'm saying, no, 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 no. And she's like, and I, like, finally grabbed her. And I was like, don't move the bed. I don't want to lay down. And she's like, oh, I thought you were talking about your phone. And I'm like, what the fuck are you thinking? What does my phone have to do with anything that is going on? Why would I be screaming, no, 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 about my fucking phone after I just told you I don't want to lay down, my back hurts. It feels better for me to be sitting up. What the fuck does that have to do with my phone? Baby. Baby. She's gonna wake up in a minute, I think. And they threw away my boyfriend's UMG, I think is what it was called. It was some like limited edition G Fuel cup. They threw it away. Like, a nurse told him, oh yeah, you can put it in the refrigerator. That's for employees and residents. That's for employees and guests. So he went and he put his stuff in there. And then he came back a couple hours later. The whole refrigerator was empty. They threw it away. It's like a $45 cup. And they threw it away. Oh, man. He was so pissed. He made a YouTube video about it, I think. Oh, her bilirubin levels were really, really high. She had like a bilirubin level of 13, I think. Yeah, 13. They took her away from me like the 3rd day that we were there. And they took her away at like 7 in the morning and brought her back at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I wasn't allowed to touch her or see her all day, except for one time I went into the nursery where they have the light box because she was jaundiced. If you don't know what bilirubin is, you probably do know what jaundice is, and it's not that hard to figure out what I'm talking about. She's okay now. Like, when we went home, she had a bilirubin level of 7, and then it went back up to an 8, but her pediatrician said that if I keep her in the sun, it'll be fine. And then we went back, her jaundice was completely normal. It was like gone. And now she's a month old now, and it's perfectly normal. We haven't had any problems out of it. So my next video is probably going to be called Lainey Moments. My daughter's name is Chelsea Lane Alexandria, and we call her Lainey because her middle name is Lane. So my next video is probably going to be Lainey Moments, and it's just going to be a bunch of short, random videos that I've taken of her, like making weird noises, smiling, sleeping, and like just, you know, newborn baby stuff. That's probably just going to be what my next videos are about. And her nursery is a little messy right now because I'm going through stuff and figuring out where I want to put everything. So whenever I decide where I want to like officially keep everything, I'm going to do a nursery tour. I sounded so country. And in a couple months, when she's actually staying awake more, I'll do a day in the life video, and then I'll start doing those like every week. Okay, I'm pretty sure that I left a lot of stuff out of this video because my stepmom was actually going to be in this video, but if I left anything out, I'll probably just like throw it into another video and be like, oh, by the way, also when I was in the hospital, and like tell you what I left out. I think that's all that I have to say. We stayed at the hospital an extra like 4 days because of how little she was. But she is a month old now, and she still wears preemie clothes. That's how small she is. She might look bigger on the camera, but in real life, she's so tiny. Probably she might cry because she's sleeping right now. Tiny baby. This is Lainey. Look, sit up. But this is Lainey. She's super tiny. Super fat cheeks. Super fat cheeks. Winnie girl. Baby girl. She's really, like, I'm moving her around and all this. She's still, like, her eyes closed trying to stay asleep. She's so hard to wake up. In the hospital, to wake her up, I had to, like, get her completely naked and rub my, and rub my fingernails down her back because she would not wake up. So, I think I'm starting getting better at this YouTube thing. But my next 2 videos that I post are going to be the flipograms, but one of them is going to be a flipogram, and the other one is going to be like Lainey moments, and it's going to be just random, look at that face. It's going to be just random videos of her doing stuff. Say bye-bye. Oh, you're going to open your eyes, look. Look. No. She opened her eyes for like a split second. Say bye-bye, YouTube. Bye-bye, YouTube.